In this week's portion, VaYeitzei, we learn a very important lesson which we've all experienced in life. And that is that sometimes we think that the actions that we perform, whether for good or for bad, happen in a vacuum. In other words, if we give tzedakah, it's a one-time event in which we're writing a check or actually doing something positive for somebody else. And then in the obverse, when we do something bad, we think that that bad thing just happened in a vacuum. It's only once, and there's no effect from the good deed that we do or the bad action that we perform into the future. What our Torah reading teaches us, based on last week's portion Toldot and this week's portion VaYeitzei, is that is patently false. It's a false assumption to think that whatever we do is a one-time event with no effect to anything else. In fact, what Jacob learns, or perhaps he hasn't learned it yet, but we, the reader, learn about his life is, since he participated in the ruse through his mother's initiative to deceive his father Isaac, to dress as his twin brother Esau, to put fur on his arm and wear Esau's clothes so that he would feel and smell like Esau in order to get the blessing, or also to bring the food that Isaac had requested, that deception did not happen just by itself. Because he deceived his father, now we read in this week's portion, VaYeitzei, how deception happens to Jacob. Jacob goes to the home country, running away from the anger of his twin brother, and there falls in love with his first cousin. And his future father-in-law agrees that he can marry that first cousin Rachel, the younger sister of Leah, and his father-in-law plays a trick on him. Jacob also plays a trick on his father-in-law later in the portion in being able to get the dotted, spotted, and striped goats in order to take home with him. Deception keeps on happening within the portion to Jacob and by Jacob, so that then also in the following week portion and other portions following, we see how deception is a hallmark of Jacob and his family. And so it's an important lesson that we are supposed to learn. Don't think that our actions just happen once and that's it. We always have to be thinking about the consequences of the things that we do. Not only, especially the bad things that we do, but even the good things. And hopefully, this will be an inspiration to us to do more good things, to try to be a blessing, because we know that if we do good, then that will have a ripple effect down into the future. May that be so. Shabbat Shalom.